Good day and welcome back to my channel. So here we are, the last video on the Black Pearl. This model started in October of 2020, or rather I started working on this model in October of 2020, and it is now January of October 2021, and I finally reached the end. I have a few thoughts and so forth to bring forth on, to sort of talk about while we go through the final look at the kit. So first of all, I made a conscious decision, right? I chose to do a fantasy ship, and the Black Pearl is a fantasy ship. So the actual sailing vessel, I believe, was actually built on a barge. So there's some inconsistencies between how the Black Pearl was done up and how an actual tall ship would be done, as well as some other cinematic choices for the Ghost Pearl in specific. So being that I chose to do the Ghost Pearl, this is what I was going for. So as I walk through this and talk about it, I will apologize in advance for those nautical types who get squeaky about things that I miss. So I apologize. But my goal was the Pearl from the movie, and that's where I was aiming. The kit itself was amazing. This is the Zvezda 1/72nd scale, and I will say it once again, it is not actually 1/72nd scale, and I apologize, we're gonna have to like zoom in and move around because it's I don't have a little turny roundy thing, and I just don't have enough room to do this. So the model kit is actually about 1/96th if you do the math. 1/72nd scale is close, but the components and everything else on the kit, as well as the overall length and everything, works out to about 196-ish. I actually picked up some 1/72nd scale crew, and that was the first bit that proved to me that, hey, that's just not it. That's not correct. And they looked so out of place that I couldn't use it. So the crew members we do have here, so this guy, all of them that you see around here are actually HO scale zombies that I picked up from Shapeways, which is approximately 187th-esque, and they're close, which is close enough, so they work. The kit goes together very, very well. So the actual parts, the fit of the pieces that we have, I had very little challenge with. It was a very, very well thought out, well engineered kit to put together. With the caveat that there are some gotchas with regard to the instructions, the timing, the direction, and so forth of how you do it. I did put it into base at something at a little bit of a cant. So, again, we're going up over the wave. So, but the model piece, I can't recommend this kit high enough, right? The details for the Pearl are just exquisite. I would recommend this kit for anyone who wants to do a tall ship model and has never done one before. It's forgiving. The recommendation I would have, would I recommend this kit for a newbie modeler? Probably not, unless said modeler has a engineering type brain and the ability to look at instructions and see things in 3D, because of all the things I've called out, as little gotchas, especially when you start dealing with the rigging up in here. If you don't have a mind that sees 3D and sees how that drawing is going to get in your way at some point, and you can see where things will be here before you put them in place, you'll find yourself getting very frustrated. If it wasn't for the rigging, the kit, a beginner modeler would do wonderful with this. So if a beginner modeler wants to try, and certainly for someone who's never done a ship model before, I highly recommend it. Being that being that this is my first kit, this is the example of what my first ship model. Now I've been building models for many years, but this is my first attempt at a ship model, and I felt comfortable enough with the kit that I was able to do a whole lot of customization. The steps, the redo of the captain's cabin, all of these little customization and accurizing things that I did. So I felt comfortable enough that I could do that and get to the end here with a reasonable result. There are plenty of gotchas in this kit, and I outline it in all of in many of the videos here. I'll do another circle here. Yes, I know I have a lot of videos out here on this particular project, and they are, fairly long, so feel free to skip through them, but they do outline, and I think I kind of outline in the description what those gotchas are. So one of the things I'd call out again here is the sales, right? So the sales are something that I think always makes a sailing ship model. And because of what I was going for here, doing the sales the way I did gives me the result that I'm after. Again, I highly recommend Harry Houdini Models cloth sail method. And if you do have this and aren't going to do this purl, but say the purl from the second, third, whatever, with full sails, I very much recommend using Harry's method for making cloth sails. It's easy, it's straightforward, but it's really effective. Also, I'm going to comment, this is my first attempt at doing a C base. I've never done anything like this before, and I really leaned heavily on other people. And when I in my base video I call them out, but I'm going to call them out again here. Mel, the train tutor, relied very heavily on a lot of his techniques. Terranscapes, sadly, it's a channel that's he's done promoting, but he's very good. Alex Modeling and Little Sailor are two very specific. They have two pieces out there, and I will put links for all of these, by the way, down below for all of these guys I recommend. The Little Sailor and Alex Modeling links especially are ones I used specifically, followed almost step by step, and following step by step got me this from having never ever done this before. I can't say more how impressed I was with what that helped me achieve. Could this be better? Probably. If I do more, I'll probably learn techniques and tricks that make this even better. But given what I was going for, and for a first attempt, I'm really content with this. I am content with the result. Now, again, I'm going to point out, so I learned a whole lot of new things, right? When I built this kit, I learned a ton of new things about modeling, about myself. And on my Facey Twitty Space page, I actually will go into a little more in depth on that, because it's more of a self-discovery, and really y'all don't need to be bothered with hearing all that, because I can go on for a while about the discoveries I learned. But patience is critical for doing this. Planning, and I learned a ton of new techniques and nautical terms and all kinds of stuff when I put this kit together, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I hope that following my videos on this kit helped, or was a positive experience for everybody else. A lot of the techniques, like the shading techniques and so forth like this, these are just basic modeling techniques. This is just washing. This was done up in a light gray with layers and layers of essentially Null and Oil and Agrax Surf Shade from Games Workshop. Like the anchors here, for example, the anchors did not have the ropes on the crossbars here. I added those. This extra ring is also not part of the kit, so I added that. But I think they give it more life. The boats inside, again, following some guidance I got from Daniel Hinson, who's a very big, I found him on the Facebook in the Cult TV group, who's doing a Black Pearl, and he's a big Black Pearl fan. So following a lot of his suggestions, I caught a lot of things that were inaccurate and things I could fix. So all of these guys I'll put links to down below where I can. I won't put Facebook links in there because you guys can search Facebook if you're on there. But with that said, I really appreciate everybody who gave input, who gave suggestions, who gave guidance to doing this. I am now going to stop waffling because I have waffled a bit, and I'm going to give you some better looks of this. I took some photos of the model, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. I will point out the stays for the foremast. In the pictures, I have these lines actually on the stays, and it makes that stay sag. So I've changed that. It still shows that way in the pictures, but the only difference between what's in the pictures and here is I fixed that line. That was bothering me. A gentleman, Harry, again, thank you, pointed out how the stays stay taut. And whether or not that's accurate or not for how it is, I'm using real tension to keep the sails where I want them, because I want them to be apparently billowing. And because of the way I made them, I need some of that pressure. And the mast itself is not really strong. And these anchor points, if I could actually anchor on these points, I could really tighten them down, but I can't. So I fiddled. That was that was what I chose to do. So with that said, with the waffling done, I will now move on to the photographs of the kit, with much thanks for everybody that both commented directly and also for all of those that I have been able to lean on and learn things from. You know, again, the links I'll put below, and many other modelers that came before me where I picked up skills and techniques that I was able to leverage. So with that said, here are the pictures, and we will go ahead and fade out after that. So I thank you very much for your attention. I hope this was an entertaining and useful and possibly even informative series. And until next time, I will say thank you very much and happy modeling.